everyone, Tim Schofield here from CubeKing77.com doing a full review on the Amazon Fire phone. Got it right here. As you can see, I've been using it for a little while on AT&T's network, which this phone only works on AT&T's network. It's only compatible with it. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the design, software, the interesting Fire OS, and I guess show off some of the features. So let's get into it. Alright, so here's a closer look at the Amazon Fire phone. Right away you'll notice a very rectangle shape. It does have kind of a boxy feel to it when you hold it in your hand. You'll see on the front it just has one button, that's it. No back, no menu buttons, no capacitor buttons, no on-screen buttons. It just has this home button right here. You'll also notice these sensors on the four corners. Those are actually for the dynamic perspective. I'll show you that in just a sec. You have a 2 megapixel camera right there, and then obviously the speaker for your ear. And then on the top here you have a power button. I'm not a big fan of the power button being on the upper left hand corner. I guess I understand the upper right hand corner, but upper left, I prefer it being on the upper right or the sides. Anyways, you have a headphone jack right here. You have a speaker right up here, and you also have a speaker down here at the bottom and a microphone right there. So you do have speaker sound coming at the top and bottom of the device, which is nice that they didn't put the speaker on the back of the device. So sound quality, I would say, is above average. The right side is completely smooth, absolutely nothing right there. Back to the bottom, you do have a micro USB 2.0 slot. On the left side, you do have a nano SIM card slot. You have volume up and down, and you have a camera button, and which also uses Firefly as well if you press and hold it. So it's not only a camera button, it's also Firefly. I do have a little bit of a problem with this camera button. I'll get to that in just a sec. On the back, 13 megapixel camera with LED flash, says Amazon. You'll see I'm using a Fly Grip on my phone at the moment, of course. So let's go ahead and turn it on and check out the lock screen. So lock screen right here, this would be a first look at dynamic perspective. So you'll see I have to look at the phone instead of my camera screen, but it'll I guess detect my face and then change it as if you're looking at the current scene. There's a bunch of different scenes that they have, and I'll show you a bunch of them in a little bit within the settings. So this is a lock screen. It will show notifications on there, email, text message, etc. You can pull down from the top and you'll see it shows your notifications just like an Android. So you'll see I have missed calls, text messages, a meeting, Twitter, and just like an Android, you can expand and contract notifications. One cool thing, since it does have Amazon integration, it says your package was delivered from Shop Amazon. So Amazon will let you know when your package was delivered. I believe it lets you know when it's shipped as well. You do have quick toggles up at the top: airplane mode, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, flashlight, sync, settings, Mayday, and search. The search option literally just searches the device or the web, whatever you want to search for. So if I want to search for Amazon, I can hit search and you'll see my stuff, and then also it'll bring up the web, stores, etc. So that, I mean, it's nice to have a phone search, I guess. Up at the top, these are not customizable, so they are what they are. You can sync the device, put in the airplane mode. You also have, I guess, brightness, screen brightness right here. If you want auto brightness, if you want it more dim, more bright. You can also get rid of this status bar. I like having it on persistently, but you can have it off if you'd like. Now, before I get into the software right here, I did, like I said, want to talk about this camera button. One thing it does is if you just tap it, it turns on the phone and opens your camera application. So right away, I guess it's a downside because a lot of times I'll pull it out of my pocket and then the camera application will be open. Which is going to drain battery, of course, and it's just kind of strange that it does that right away without it being unlocked. So with this phone locked, it opens the camera application. You press and hold the button, and like I said, it brings up Firefly. So we can talk about Firefly right now. Essentially, it'll scan over like 100 million things, and then it wasn't working earlier. Looks like it force closed on me there. Let's try that again. But anyways, like I said, you can see these little fireflies around here. There we go. It essentially instantly found this. So it found Titanfall, lets you know what it is. We can tap on it and then it'll bring up, you can shop Amazon, you can share it, view original photo, send feedback, or delete from history. So you'll see available for $34.85 on Amazon. One thing you'll notice about this phone is it just has a ton of Amazon integration. It's just crazy that If you don't use Amazon or not really an Amazon customer, you're not really, or even have an Amazon account, this phone's not very usable without it because it uses the Amazon App Store as opposed to, let's say, the Google Play Store, because this is running a version of Android, of course. So one thing with the carousel, this would be the home screen essentially. You have a carousel right here which shows your, I guess, recent apps. So you'll see Firefly was there, we brought up Shop, Amazon. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I'll show you that in a second. So yeah, I mean, it's nice. They're kind of like widgets essentially, because you'll see with camera, it shows the pictures I took. With Firefly, it shows the certain things that I've scanned. So I guess it does act as kind of like a home widget. You don't have a background or anything like that. You do have a dock down here, which has applications that do have, let you know any missed calls, any missed text messages. You swipe up, or you can also press the home button when you're on the carousel screen and it'll bring up all your apps. So you'll see these all get put in this app drawer right here, and then you can swipe up and down to go back to the carousel. To, I guess, customize your bar, you can actually press and hold on apps and just drag to replace. This would be to, I guess you can make folders, and then you have to, like, to get rid of it, you kind of have to slide it in there, and then the last one at the end kind of gets pushed away, which is a little goofy that it does it like that. So yeah, it just pushes that last one away. You can't just like click and drag. I guess you could click and drag this back down into here, and then I'm assuming, let's try, I haven't tried that yet. Yeah, it pushes that most recent one up there. So that's a little goofy, that navigation. Obviously you can get it to how you want with these 4 applications, but a little strange that they kind of edited it where you can't just only have 3 or only have 2. So yeah, there's that. You'll see within your app drawer, let's go ahead and find the App Store. So like I said, it does use the Amazon App Store, which does not have as many apps as Google Play Store, of course. It does have a decent amount of apps, I'll give them that. And everything is through Amazon, of course. You need an Amazon account. You'll see a Facebook. I mean, you have a good amount of apps that are linked in, all the most popular ones, I guess. One I was going to look for, I know it's a popular app, I'm going to look up Snapchat. I don't think it has Snapchat. So it doesn't. It has Vine. So I mean, you'll run into those apps that you like to use and they just don't have them yet, or they don't have them at all. You'll see Pandora, Facebook. It does have Kick Messenger. I mean, there's a good amount of popular apps, but every once in a while you run into an app that's just like, oh, I wish Amazon App Store had it, and they don't. Anyways, let's go ahead and go back home. When you double tap the home button, it brings up this quick search. So I guess you can quickly search through your recent apps. So that's another option that you can do. Let's say, for example, I go to the Silk browser, which is the native browser on the Fire phone. I double tap that, and it brings up my quick search of my recent apps. So let's say I wanted to go back to the App Store. Can do that. Double tap it again. Go back to the browser. So that's the way to quick switch between apps and multitask, I guess, to go back and forth quickly. Or, like I said, press the home button to bring you back to your home screen or your app drawer. One quick thing to note is that you can get rid of these applications just by pressing and holding on them, and then just say you can pin it or remove it from your carousel. So you can get rid of them there. Another thing I want to talk about is the left and right side of the screen. You can pull in and it gives you a list of information depending on what screen you're on. You'll see it gives me the weather right there. In order, it shows missed calls and text messages. Can pull from the left side, and you have a ton of Amazon options. So you have audiobooks, books, photos, videos, music, and essentially it all has to do with Amazon's integration. So if I go to videos, it's going to bring up Amazon Prime Video, which this includes a year of Prime, as you can see. So it brings up instant video, and if you do have Prime, which you will for a year when you get this phone, it'll load it up. You can go ahead and play a movie. You'll see if you have Prime, it's $0. I do have Prime. I actually pay for Prime, so you can watch all these movies, all that good stuff. And it's all free. For example, like I said, when you go to shop, it'll just bring up Amazon. So this is essentially your Amazon bar, but when you're within another app, it's going to bring up different options when you swipe over. So you'll see when I swipe from the right, it doesn't show the weather anymore. It doesn't show my missed notifications. It shows new for you, things that I might want to buy. And also on the left side, it's I guess your shop Amazon menu. Another thing is to go back. You'll notice there's no back button anywhere. You just swipe up from the bottom of the screen, and it allows you to go back. So that's essentially their navigation to go back. Now I want to go ahead and talk about the camera real quick. So let's load it on up. I tap this. It does have a 13 megapixel camera with optical image stabilization, of course. So if I want to take a picture, all you do is, one thing about the camera is that it's located really close to the corner here. So I find myself when I hold it with two hands, my middle finger of my left hand kind of covers it up. You'll see in that bottom left corner, there's my finger. You kind of have to get used to it and be careful not to, I guess, put your middle finger there and use it up top. You just press this button and it takes a picture right there. You can flip it, goes to the 2 megapixel front facing camera. See, there's me, what's up guys? Flip it back. Let's go to the settings. You have HDR mode, image review. There's camera modes as well, a couple of them that you can use. Brightness. Essentially the software in the camera application isn't that extensive, I guess you could say. You can switch from to take 1080p video as well, recording. I will probably do a test 1080p video recording soon and post that as well. But anyways, let's go ahead and look at I guess one of the pictures that I took. So this picture outside, a long distance picture. Let's go ahead and zoom in, I guess, and we'll take a look at it. So it'll give you a good idea of the, of course, the 4.7-inch 720p screen that it does have. I mean, I would say the colors are pretty good. The greens, like I said, these are far away and I'm zooming in on a picture like this. So this gives you an idea of the camera and also just the colors on the phone. I'm actually a decent fan of the screen. I wish it had a 1080p display, but I guess with a 720p display, you really don't have to worry about it being pixelated and the pixels showing. It's a pretty solid screen, even out in the sunlight as well. And the camera's good. I wouldn't say it's fantastic. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's a very good camera. I would say it takes some good pictures, and I mean, I guess you don't really have to worry about it really being bad quality when you take a picture. You know you're going to take a picture. It's going to be good quality, and you're going to be pleased with it. Now let's go ahead and go back home. Like I said earlier in the video, this only comes on AT&T. It's your only option. So I'm going to go ahead and run a quick speed test. So might as well. I've been using AT&T and give you a little overview of AT&T, I guess. Been using it for a little while now on this phone, and I've been pleased with it. AT&T has good service. Their LTE is quick where I'm at. I'm going to run a speed test here. I don't know exactly. I'm in my apartment, so I don't know how good it's going to be. I've ran a couple tests in here, and it was great. Looks like I feel like today their network has been having issues with their data speeds. Some things just like weren't loading earlier. So this is the first time I've ran into issues. Of course, it's when I make this video. So I would say overall, I've been using it, it's been good. So don't take that 0.21 download speed. I'll go to my results in just a second to show you. So you'll see this middle one is the one that I normally get, this 25.55 download, 8.51 upload. So that's pretty standard. So I would say AT&T's got good data speeds and pretty good connection with I guess mobile networks to make calls and texts. Call quality on this phone is just okay. It's nothing special. But anyways, it's time to talk about dynamic perspective. Pretty much everywhere on your phone it uses dynamic perspective. So you'll see when those apps kind of change orientation when I move this. Of course, even these home widgets, I guess, do the exact same thing. You can kind of flick your phone and it'll bring up that left bar, or you can bring it back and bring up the right bar by doing the same thing. So if I bring it back, and you'll see, so when I hold it flat, it doesn't show any information, but if I tilt it a little bit, it'll give you more information about these certain things, just if you tilt it. So kind of interesting. So you'll see this says a new paid app for free every day. This says watch 200,000 movies and TV episodes, but you don't see that if you don't tilt your phone. Now I'm going to go ahead and open up the settings application. So within the settings, it's pretty standard. Display, sound, battery and storage. I'll get to battery life in just a second. Lock screen, keyboard, phone, device. Like I said, it runs a modified version of Android, of course, but I wanted to go ahead and go to lock screen because I wanted to show you, I guess, more of this dynamic perspective in action. So it says select a lock screen scene. There's a ton. There's a bunch actually. So you'll see I was using the pen one. So if I wanted to go ahead and check out the lightning one, let's go ahead and do that. So you'll see here's another example of the dynamic perspective in action. Gives you the date on the bar and then the time down there, surrounded by some lightning right there. Another one you can go to is this one, where you'll see it's got a broken glass of milk. Still gives you the time and date on both of them. They always cleverly put the time and date somewhere on these. There's just some neat, I guess, dynamic perspective lock screens that they included. I think it's a cool feature, just with the more 3D effect, I guess. Sorry, I have to actually look at the screen for this to work. So yeah, just looking around, kind of cool. You get to customize it to do whatever one you want. You can rotate it as well, every day, every week, however you want to change it. All right, enough about the dynamic perspective. I want to talk about a couple things, couple specs. It does have a 2.2 gigahertz quad-core processor, 2 gigabytes of RAM, and a 2400 milliamp hour battery. Now, 2400 milliamp hour battery is kind of on the lower side. However, battery life on this device is actually very good. I've been pretty impressed with the battery life on it. I was kind of skeptical at first, but now that I've used this phone in real-world situations, done a lot of data use, I guess, a lot of searching, a lot of Pandora streaming, making calls, sending texts, I've been pretty pleased. It has been a good experience with battery life. Now, another great feature about this phone is the keyboard, actually. I'm not exactly sure, they just send these stock text messages, but yeah, so let's go ahead and try out the keyboard. I honestly wish I could use this keyboard on other Android devices. I've been really pleased with the autocorrection and just the overall look and feel of this Amazon Fire Phone keyboard. So if I say, hey there, how are you? There you go, real quick. You can press and hold on keys and then it brings up question marks, etc. It does have swipe as well. I'm great, thank you. There you go. So I mean, no errors. Like I said, this keyboard has been one of the best I've ever used, and it's an OEM keyboard. I'm just really surprised at how well they've configured this keyboard. We can also try the voice to text. Let me run that by you real quick. Hey there, hope you are enjoying this video right now. Hey there, hope you're enjoying this video right now. There you go, worked really well. Now, something else I want to show you real quick is the Amazon Maps application that they do have. One cool thing that they do is that in bigger cities, they can utilize that dynamic perspective and they have a 3D model of certain buildings. In more remote areas, it doesn't show the buildings or anything, but like, for example, this is Chicago. It gives you, here's the Sears Tower right here. And when I look at the screen, it'll utilize that dynamic perspective, and I guess you can look around the entire building, which is fantastic. I think it's a really cool feature. My roommate who's studying engineering really enjoyed it as well. He liked it for these, I guess, just the models, and they're actually fairly accurate. So it's a neat feature, although, like I said, it's only in these more, I guess, popular cities as opposed to remote areas. Anyways, overall, that's just about all I wanted to cover. Like I said, there's some standard apps, weather. You got the same thing where you swipe over from the right and it lets you know, I guess, what the weather is going to be like upcoming. Swipe to the left, you add locations. So depending on what app you're in, you got to remember that you can swipe from the left and right to, I guess, look at more options within the apps, which I guess you could kind of forget that you can do, especially because there's no button, there's no menu button, anything like that. Now, just want to give some final overall thoughts on this device. If you are someone that, I guess, maybe has a Kindle or uses Amazon a lot or shops at Amazon a lot, this is definitely the phone for you. Like I said, Amazon essentially runs this phone. You can go to your cloud apps right here if you want to download any of them. So here's all the apps in the cloud right now. If I tap on it, it can download it right away. So if I wanted to go ahead and select that app, I believe it should start to download, if I'm not mistaken, or I can, oh, maybe it's already downloaded? No, it's not. So let me press this app. It looks like it synchronizes. You can press X to delete it, and then it should eventually go to your device once it's downloaded. Anyways, like I said, you got Shop Amazon, you got Kindle Books, you got Instant Video, apps, Amazon Appstore, Shop Amazon. These are all Amazon-related apps, which is okay. However, you're limited to certain, like I said, if you're more into the Google ecosystem or Apple ecosystem with iOS or Android, you kind of miss out on some of the things such as like Hangouts or the Play Store even, or the App Store. So it kind of depends. I would say if you're someone that isn't as invested in a certain Android or iOS, this could be a potentially good phone for you, especially if you like to use Amazon or shop at Amazon. but as a phone, it's a pretty solid device. The camera, like I said, was good. The keyboard's great. That's one of my favorite things about this phone. Like I said, the AT&T's network has been solid for me, so there's a plus there that you get to run it on AT&T's network. It has been pretty quick. I haven't really had many issues with, I guess you could say, apps being really slow or anything like that. The screen's fairly good for a 720p screen. Like I said, outdoor viewing's good. Let me go to Amazon.com. Actually, let me go to my website and see how that loads up on here. Let me see. There it is. So load this up. We're still on 4G LTE. They were having problems earlier. Hopefully this website loads up quick enough. But dynamic perspective is a neat feature, I think, especially with the gestures and such. If I swipe from the right, there you go. Swipe from the left, you have your browser options. So, and Silk browser is fairly good. You see you have your tabs right here. You'll see that. Did you notice that? When you pull this down, it's successfully installed and this is downloading. So as I said, when you tap on it, it downloads it from the cloud and then it goes straight to your app drawer. All right, so here's my website loaded on up. You'll see, looks good. No complaints at all there. So go back home, and that's about it. That's, like I said, a solid device for people that aren't invested in a certain ecosystem. It's hard for me to use it to switch from being strictly Android and having everything synced with Google. You can, however, load up your Google account. It synced my contacts, which was very helpful. Of course, you can have your Gmail synced with your email application. So it's not like you're really missing out on a lot of things, just a few of them, I guess. And of course, Amazon Appstore not having all of the apps that the Play Store might have. But like I said, solid phone, battery life's pretty good, camera's good, screen's fairly good. Build quality is good as well. I would say it just is a little bit, I guess, thick. I wouldn't say it's like crazy thick, but it has a little bit of weight to it, which gives it a more premium feel. It does have a nice feel. This camera button, like I said, shouldn't open the camera when the screen is locked. But yeah, let me know what you think. Leave a comment, especially with this Fire OS being different. It's fairly simple to learn, which is another reason if you're a new phone owner, it would be, I guess, beneficial to get a phone like this to enter you into the smartphone world. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Subscribe to me as well. I'd really appreciate it. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.